Our son Will wanted to study in an American university, so we decided to buy a tractor trailer and work while Will studied. My cousin Bucky deserves much of the credit for our success. Not only did he get us started in the trucking business, he also introduced us to Mercer Transportation. Will supported us through hard times. He was our banker, marriage counselor, and good friend. Chris has always been there for us. He started us in the rental business, which is the basis of our retirement, thanks to his wonderful family. Caroline is my long-lost sister. After many years of not communicating, we have reconnected, and she and her husband Ho have become an important part of my family. Caroline is also responsible for keeping us safe by advising us which areas to avoid. Thanks, Weather Girl. Aunt Diana and Uncle Kirk are the Switzerland of my crazy family. Thanks for helping us get through life. Go Tea Party! Pat Russell is one of my oldest friends. He's like the brother I never had. Thanks, Pat. Finally, I want to thank Bob and Jan McGrath. They supported me even when my real parents chose not to. They turned my life around and gave me a chance to succeed. They are the parents I should have had. Here we are in Battery Park, New York City. We look out in the water and what do we see? A beautiful sailboat. That's when we realize that the trucking portion of our lives has to come to an end and the next adventure must begin. We are trading one lifestyle for another. Time for a cool change.
If there's one thing in my life that's missing, it's the time that I spend alone, sailing on the cool and bright clear waters. There's lots of those friendly people showing me ways to go, and I never want to lose your inspiration. Time for a cool change. I know that it's time for a cool change. Now that my life is so prearranged, I know that it's time for a cool change. Well, I was born in the sign of water, one thing in my life that's missing, it's the time that I spend alone, sailing on the cool and bright clear waters. It's kind of a special feeling when you're out on the sea alone, staring at the full moon like a lover. Yeah, yeah. Time for a cool change. I know it's time for a cool change. Now that my life is so rearranged, I know it's time for a cool change. I know it's time for a cool change. Everywhere I go, people telling me it's time for a cool change. Let me breathe the air.
Now it's time to roll the credits. Brandon was our first dispatcher and he literally forced us to make money. Akura was an intermediate dispatcher and she slowly became a good friend that we kept in touch with. Steve is our final dispatcher. We stayed with him for a long time. Steve is one of our close friends now. Kevin is the new owner of Tinkerbell, and here is QP turning over the keys and signing the paperwork. Here we are with Kevin, the new owner of Tinkerbell, and we're passing on the torch.
Oh boy. Thank you.
I hope she's as good to you as she was to us.
Absolutely. I'll let you know.
Congratulations, Kevin!
Hey, woo!
Hope you're good luck for you.
We bought the boat over a Thanksgiving holiday from Greg and Michelle. We had a Thanksgiving dinner on the boat, and Greg was not happy about selling the boat, but he was very happy about counting the money. It seems that Obama forgot to call and get my approval for governmental waste, so we only had 1 week on the boat from Thanksgiving to April, and that was of course at Christmas. We spent 1 week there. And my beautiful wife is so easy to please. She doesn't require much. A simple little gift makes her just terribly happy. Here's what Christmas looks like and the Christmas dinner that we prepared on the boat.
We got here yesterday and we just moved in here this morning. Oh my god, look what a mess everywhere.
Now we're up in the cockpit and the mess just keeps going. After 8 hours of scraping and cleaning and degunking, we finally got the old name off of Freya and she got her new name. And so did the dinghy, Freya's Tink. We had to keep something from the old Tinkerbell. After renaming the boat, we had a dock party where QP cooked Chinese dinner for everybody. And we would like to thank Dockmaster Ed and his new bride, Donna and George, Dave and Terry, and the French invasion, Francois and Jacques.
I am happy to watch my friends enjoy my food.
Are you taking a video?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to be our dinghy chocks. When we get it up on the boat, it will look like after we get everything sanded, it will look like that with one of these on each side. And then we can pick our dinghy up and set on top of this. Oh, for the bow. As the dinghy cradle neared completion, we realized that the whisker pole that we had was not strong enough, so Dave, a friend that we met in the yard, gave us an old spinnaker pole that he no longer used. Thank you very much, Dave. This is what the old Dorado boxes looked like, and QP is holding up the new version with a vent to be installed soon. Now we're walking up the side of the boat so that you can see the progress we've made on the Dorado boxes and the dinghy chocks. You can see where Tink is going to be sitting comfortably. And you can see where we replaced one Dorado box on this side. On the other side, there's a piece of Lexan that allows light to get into the head. And here's a close-up of the dinghy chocks that are not quite ready. This pad still needs to be built. Philip was a friend that we met in the yard, and it seemed like I was running over to his boat to ask him for advice or how to every 10 minutes. The heat was absolutely unbearable, so we went to Walmart, bought a set of clippers, and QP chopped away at the hair. It's a lot cooler now.
This is my first time painting in my whole life. Paint dropped down on my body everywhere.
We have 3 coats of bottom paint. The black coat went on first. It was very, very time consuming. It took a lot of time and took a lot of paint. After the black coat, we painted blue so that when the blue begins to wear off, you can see the black underneath. The blue coats were finished and the stands were the only thing left to do. After they moved the stands, we touched up the places where the stands were, and then it was time to put the boat back in the water. When they lifted up the boat, we found that there were some spots that needed touch-up, so I did it on the way to the water. It was nice to get out of the yard. It's so hot up there. But when we put everything back on the boat, it's messy again. It took us a couple of days to get it all cleaned up, and finally I think we're ready to head south on this ICW.